Hi, and welcome to episode number 352 of Simplifying Live. With me, Shashank Nigam, your host and the CEO of Simplifying. This week is the 50th anniversary of the Boeing 747, which I'm holding in my hand right now. The 747 flew for the first time 50 years ago on September the 30th. It did not fly. It rolled out off the Boeing factory 50 years ago. The first commercial flight, was a few months later on Pan Am to London ultimately. But the 747 is rightly called the Queen of the Skies. Look at just how beautiful it is. I'm holding the Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Asia's World City special livery in my hands right now. And I have had some exquisite experiences on the 747. In fact, the first time was a near miss. I almost did not make my 747 flight. I was flying from Tokyo Narita to Singapore on a Singapore Airlines 747 coming in from Los Angeles to Narita going onwards to Singapore. It was called the Megatop in those days. And I was taking the high-speed train from Tokyo downtown to Narita Airport. Now, when I went there to the station, I was short of a few cents of change, a few yen of change. And I had to go run and convert some more money. That took some time because at that time they had minimum conversion rate from the US dollar to the yen. And I didn't want that many yen. In the end, I got the few yen I needed to pay for my ticket. But because of that, I missed the train that I wanted to take and I had to take the next train. Now, the train is high speed. That's totally fine. When I reached the Narita Airport station, it's then I realized how far I have to run to get to the airport terminal from the Narita Airport station. Now, this was about an hour before flight taking off, not flight closing. And I'm running with my big bag to the counter, only to realize there are no Singapore Airlines counters open. I panicked and I ran to the first counter I saw, which was an Air France counter. And I asked, where's the Singapore Airlines counter? And she said, this was the Singapore Airlines counter and it's now closed. At that point, she said, let me help you out. I'll call someone from Singapore Airlines, see if they can help. A couple of minutes later, a lady from Singapore Airlines comes running out with a walkie-talkie in her hand and says, hey, Mr. Nigam, we were waiting for you. I don't know if you'll make it, but let's run. Okay, let's run. She took one of my carry-on bags. I took the big bag and I said, what about this bag? She said, it's okay. We'll bring it through security and we'll drop it at the gate. Okay, whatever works. And she takes me, showing her lanyard everywhere. We go through security, big bag, small bag, everything goes through. It's been almost a decade since this happened, actually over a decade. And as we run towards the gate, another Singapore Airlines staffer comes to me and says, Mr. Nigam, we've been waiting for you. Show me your boarding pass. And I scan it, and I'm panting, sweating. Somehow I make the flight. As I board the flight, after having dropped off my bags, completely panting, the Singapore girl greets me, welcome aboard, Mr. Nigam. And I thought, wow, she knows my name. And that itself was impressive. I was somewhere in 64D, right at the back, absolutely mesmerized by this Queen of the Skies that I was boarding, and truly enjoyed my first ever memorable 747 flight that I almost missed. This was back in 2005, I believe, Tokyo Narita to Singapore. Since then, of course, this is an experience, by the way, I've shared deeply in my book, Soar, in the Singapore Airlines chapter on how well the Singapore girl treats you, even if you're a first-time flyer. But that was just the first flight. Since then, I've had quite a few experiences, and I remember my first experience in the upper deck of the 747 was on a Thai Airways 747-400 from Bangkok to Singapore. Just a 3-hour flight. But it was awesome because it was upstairs and I could climb the stairs and, live the dream as an aviation geek. Another really experience I had was on Lufthansa, where the flight crew, the flight attendants actually have a separate cabin right near the entrance to the aircraft where they manage the whole plane from, which I found again was pretty cool. Very nice upper deck, very cozy atmosphere upstairs in the business class. But by far the best 747 experience I've had on the Queen of Skies was possibly the longest I have flown on a 747, which was from Singapore to Los Angeles via Taipei on Singapore Airlines. Wait for it. First class. I had a business class ticket which I upgraded using a ton of miles, don't ask how many, and I managed to get a last minute discounted first class ticket upgrade on Singapore Airlines first class, and that was phenomenal. It was an experience that I will never forget. It was an experience that I will always cherish, both from landing in Taipei to landing in Los Angeles, tracking our own shadow as the plane comes in, and you can see the little hump in the silhouette. I still have the original photos. I'll try to post them up, but it was truly memorable to be in the first class section of the Singapore Airlines 747 Singapore, Taipei, Los Angeles. One of the most memorable 747 flights for me personally. The Queen of the Skies, as it's known, I think is a truly deserving name for the plane. It's a little sad to see it retire, but there are still lots of airlines flying it, like British Airways. So, if you haven't had a chance, go do that. You don't want it to be like the Concorde where, it stops flying and you're not able to fly it. So, go fly the Queen of Skies while it's still flying. I once had the honor of meeting Joe Sutter, the person who pretty much is credited with inventing the 747, and it was a humbling experience to speak to this man in 2014, where he was being awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award. What an achievement indeed, because this was the first time a truly large plane, aircraft, could travel so far and carry passengers all over the world, making the world a smaller place. That was my Queen of the Sky story on the 50th anniversary of the Boeing 747. I'd love to hear yours, your first time, your favorite 747 flight. Do share on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook. I'll catch you tomorrow. Till then, have a great one. Bye-bye.